Hello everyone, Wolf Dragon Leaf Reddit here, and today we'll be continuing the Reddit series I last updated all the way back in December of 2020. And today we'll be going back into r/pro revenge subreddit to read another one or two stories. And also the gameplay in this video that I've set up is hinting towards the next series that's going to be happening after Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War's campaign is over. And also, I recorded like the first 3 minutes of this and then realized I was actually using a voice modulator, so I was sad. But without further ado, let's get into the video. r/pro revenge. Don't cheat on your graduation lifeline. So, I and my now ex-girlfriend have been together for more than a year now. We were in the same class doing middle school and high school. Now, a 2 year friendship eventually evolved into a relationship. Y'all know how it is. We were happily together, at least so I thought, since December of 2019. I thought everything was great between us the whole time, although recently, about March, I noticed her becoming very distant and barely writing first, dry texting, etc. I asked her multiple times if everything was okay, and she gave her some okay and gave her some space, but it continued for the next few months. And I was naturally very upset as I've been through hell and back together with her when she was going through depression and a really hard time at the end of 2020. It suddenly felt like all the time was wasted and worth nothing. I, as naive as a naive high schooler, truly believed that she was the one. It was serious after all. We matched perfectly together. We spent about 3 full months crying together at night when she was going through a rough time. We had similar we had similar plans for the future, similar interests, and it seemed we were meant for each other. My girlfriend, let's call her Caroline, was studying to become a lawyer, so she was mostly into humanities subjects. I, on the other hand, was studying biochemistry for medical school. I apologize if this all is all confusing. Different. We live in Europe. She was required to attend at least one science subject to graduate. Physics, biology, chemistry, psychology. She always hated these subjects and just took them because they were necessary to graduate. She ended up picking chemistry as I was a natural and tutored ninth and 10th graders chemistry in my free time, and I always helped her with assignments, etc. I started to I started as helping her because exams before exams and assignments so she could get a good pass grade. And after her rough time warped into me writing half of the assignments for her, in February she started to do everything with me again, though we had online the whole time. Anyways, enough backstory. After noticing Caroline started to get distant and she never properly answered my questions regarding her behavior, I wanted to see how far it would go. For 1 week, I didn't invite her, call her, text her first. In a total of 1 week, she called me 3 times, twice to ask me about her assignment, and once telling me how she felt insecure and bad. I'm not a D-head. I helped her out with her school stuff and comf- comforted her when she felt down. Me being the naive love is perfect love bird. I I am I am chalked it up. I've chalked it up to her feeling depressed again, but feeling embarrassed about it. I continued helping and comforting her for the next for the next month until nothing changed and she never opened up. I was honestly doubting everything by then. Is it me? What am I doing wrong? Etc. I tried everything I could. Eventually, I asked her friends if something happened, but they said she was the same as always towards them. I knew something was up, but I didn't know what it was yet. One day when she came over to my place, it was only the second time did she did that in March. Usually she came at least twice a week. We were sitting in my room and talking while she was trying out Valorant. After she went to my kitchen to make herself something, I hear a notification from her phone. I'm usually not a snooper, but I had a quick look at her screen that it was up, that lit up. I wouldn't be able to read the message or who it was anyway. It was a Discord notification. I was very surprised. I knew for a fact that she didn't have it a month ago. Plus, she only plays Minecraft once in a while. She never uses Discord or anything. So the next morning, I did some snooping, and sure enough, I found a whole other Instagram account of hers where she branded herself to be an aesthetic gamer girl. Not that there is anything wrong with that. She had never told me anything about this. I couldn't find any of her friends following her on that account either. Sure enough, she had her Discord username in her bio. Curious and TBH a hole. Me decided it would be a good idea to create a throwaway account and try to text her to see what she was all about. Before you complain to me, I know it was an a hole. I was an a hole here. After texting her on my new account, we talked for a bit until she became flirty. We played a few Bed Wars games together once again on a throwaway account I bought for $1 LMAO. I kinda broke down and started questioning my sanity. I had been with her all this time and though so much crap and through so much crap, I couldn't believe she would do this to me. After the sadness came from After the sadness came from the anger. I wanted to know how much she took it. I found it hard to believe that she would just casually flirt with guys like this. After setting up my first recon mission plan, I found out more about her until I found out about her supposed boyfriend. At that point, I had a huge emotional breakdown and I felt I've wasted so much time helping someone who would betray me like this. From her stories, I would later find out that they were sleeping with each other for a whole month by now, about when her behavior started to change. At this point, I started hatching my revenge plan. I know I would not let her off the hook this easily. I spent 2 weeks pulling all nighters and making sure I had all my work done till the end of the year, until graduation. I spend all my remaining time creating fake chemistry textbook pages so I could make my pro revenge more believable. All of the information was wrong. I knew I had to give her a taste of her own medicine, betray her like she had me. For the remaining 2 months of the school year, OFE I fed her all this fake information and made sure she got all of her assignments wrong. I knew she wouldn't be able to tell anyone she was copying off me, as our high school was a very, very, very strict rule for plagiarism. As much as three small cheating attempts on small exams could get you expelled. So after letting the pot stew for those 2 painful, awful months, I let the crap hit the fan. As our teacher had to handle an outrageous amount of classes, she always checked our assignments late, often by 2 or 3 months all at once. I knew I could use this fact to my advantage after she she submitted her final assignments that were worth a huge percentage of our final graduation grade. I told her I knew about her okay like things had been still ongoing for 3 entire months by now. I told her how she hurt me and how it will come back to haunt her. I made sure of that. She she mostly brushed me off and acted as if I were the villain, as I couldn't just leave her, and that she was only friends with that guy. Although I told her something was going to happen, I never told her what it would be. Trust me, she never saw it coming. 1 week later, the end of the year results roll around. When we received our final grades, I was over the moon as I passed with flying colors. On the other hand, her not so much. Due to her final assignments and all quarter 4 work equaling to an F, she called me crying and asked for help. She told me she wouldn't be able to graduate if she wouldn't receive at least a passing grade for this year. She told me our teacher gave her a final chance after telling her how disappointed she was. Caroline has two more months at school with an extra on one online lessons with our saint teacher. Honestly, props go out to our teacher for giving her another chance. TBH, I felt really bad for her and her situation, knowing very well if she didn't work her butt off in those two months in a subject she hated, she would have to repeat the last year without someone constantly helping her with her chem chem. That compassion quickly went away as I told her I would help her, but only if she apologized and paid me my regular tutoring fees. Caroline went full on ballistic after that and screamed at me how I could do this to her. I hung up and she called me a few seconds after, apologizing and agreeing to pay me for my help. She now has 2 months of intense memorizing with her ex if she wants to graduate. Edit. Now she has to study for those 2 months, and when the regular end of the school year comes, she has to complete a series of exams. Think 4 to 8, covering the most important topics from the year. If she passes all of them, she will pass chemistry. Update. Wow, I read I wow, I read really didn't expect this post to blow up what whatsoever. Thanks. Y'all redditors y'all redditors for the support and contributions. Special mentions go out to r/redditor and Ask Goblin for featuring my stories in their YouTube videos. Oh, by the way, guys, if you don't know what r/redditor are, I've not heard of Ask Goblin, but I'll check them out. But r/redditor, I really enjoy their videos. I recommend go checking them out. They do way better Reddit videos than me, and I'm saying that to my own channel, so you know it's true. After 4 weeks of preparing, Caroline has actually learned a lot. She's even broken off contact with that guy, apologized, and taken me out for dinner a few times to show her gratitude for still helping her. I hope she was actually able to realize what mistake she committed in the past and won't do the same again. She was able to take her first exam today in the morning and is quite confident about it. Her her next 5 will be spread along the next 2 final weeks. She will find out if the extra work is enough latest on the 23rd of June. I keep you guys updated on further details and events that are relevant to the story. Once again, thank you all for your support. Now, this was made on, well, That honestly made I, this was made on I think June 8th of 2021. So he's not updated it yet. So let's just move on to the next story, and um I'll favorite this and come out with an update in like whenever he releases it, if he releases it in the Reddit next coming Reddit videos. Now I have a video for you guys from r slash entitled parents. Parents letting their kids watch videos at full blast in public with no headphones or earbuds. I've encountered this kind of thing more and more recently and find it beyond annoying. Parent gives a tablet to their child, usually a child under 8, and lets them watch YouTube videos or episodes of their favorite children's show at full volume in public with no earbuds or headphones. I encountered this in a TJ Maxx a few weeks ago, in a sit down restaurant the other day, and today in the airport. Right now, the mother sitting behind me is in the airport, has two kids, each of their with their own tablet, and each watching different YouTube videos at full blast. If you don't have headphones or earbuds for your kid to plug in their tablet, I think the kid should just not watch videos at all and play a game instead. It's not their right to let their kid disrupt the calm public spaces just because they think their kid is required to be entertained at all costs. When I was a kid and needed to be entertainment entertained in public, I played on my Game Boy with the volume way down or off, or I read a dang book. Some parents are very aware of what their kids are doing and how it's affecting others, yet so many seem to not give a crap if their kids' activity is completely disrupting the peace of everyone around them. Yeah, I'll try to find you guys a better story that was more of just a rant. Ooh, this looks like a good one. Karen versus garbage truck. Oh, this is gonna be good. I live on a small one way street. One way in, one way out. It's so tight that you may have to be careful driving down it unless you want to lose a mirror or worse. I got up to drive my girlfriend to her volleyball practice in the morning. On my way back, I pulled into my tiny street only to see a white BMW turn the wrong way down my one-way street. This happens a lot as the road can be pretty handy shortcut if only I went the other way. I start driving down to my apartment and stop so I can parallel park and go home. As I'm eyeing up my angle of the mirror, I hear a honk as the driver comes all the way up to within inches of my bumper. I looked up to see what was up, and cute entitled mom at the wheel with her kid in the passenger seat glued to his phone. I give the Karen a nod and start to reverse back into the gap in the cars. But as I start to reverse, I hear another honk as and see her open her window. Can you not reverse back onto the streets? Some of us are have places to be. Before looking down at what I assume is her phone. Now, I don't know about you guys, but parking on this little street is the worst part of my commute, and to reverse back involves keeping straight for nearly 50 meters and reversing onto a busy road so that's out of the question. I ignore her and continue reversing until I saw a miracle in my mirror. Garbage trucks are the worst for everyone who lives on my street, as the um as they always as they are always scratching people's cars and taking off mirrors. But this but this time I was happy to see it. I stopped reversing and pretend to adjust my mirror and steering wheel. Again, more honks from the entitled mother. I wanted to watch the action, so I kept her there until the truck was up behind me too. Now for the show. I hurry up and squeeze into my parking spot as the entitled mother begins to drive past me only to notice the big green monster blocking her path. Another car was driving behind it, so now it was 2 on 1. The Karen laid on the horn and did that entitled hand gesture that you would use to shoo away a cat. The garbage truck honks back, and one of the guys riding in the back walks up to see what's going on. Entitled Mom rolls down her window again and yells at them to get out of her way because she needs to drop her kid off at the park. And she's not going the long way around, which, by the way, is the legal way around. The worker and her mom start yelling at each other, and he's trying to tell her it's a one-way street, only to be met with comments like, I don't care, and I'm in a hurry. All the while, I'm sitting in my car with the window cracked, enjoying the show. Karen calls the man a racial slur, and that I've never heard before. Let's just say it was someone that eats sand, before flipping them off and reversing back up the street. After a solid 5 minutes of pointless arguing, the worker sees me, and we both nod at each other before he climbs back onto the truck and follow the Karen on her reverse of shame. How about this one? Entitled Mom Wants My Kayak. Throwaway because her daughter, my friend, uses Reddit. I live in an area with a lot of water. There's tons of places to kayak, canoe, jet ski, etc. Most people who live here have their own recreational boats or toys. My boyfriend and I recently got a barely used two-person kayak at a garbage sale for a steal, and we're eager to try it out. My friend doesn't really get out on the water too much, so she doesn't have their own boats, but did want to tag along, so we didn't. Sorry, we went to a spot where you can rent or bring your own. Unbeknownst to us, her mother and younger brother wanted to tag along. This wouldn't have bothered me if they weren't the most insufferable people on the planet. The rental spot has a bar, so by the time we got there, uh, they they were already pretty crapped face at 9 a.m. We decided forego drinking until after we ride and started to get our boat out on the water. I hop into the front seat and wait for my boyfriend to park the car and come back. My friend KEM and her son S come over to the boat launch, and EM is disappointed to see that they didn't have any two-person kayaks left, and that S and her will either have to use singles or share a canoe. Seeing my Seeing me floating a few feet away in a two-person kayak set her off, and she yelled for me to get out and get this dang canoe. By the time oh, wait, I didn't read that right. Sorry. Set her off, and she yelled for me to get out here and get this dang canoe. By that time, my boyfriend was wading through the water to get to me and politely offered that maybe if at the half mark to the lake, if she was too tired that we couldn't switch, but that we wanted to use our own kayaks. She demanded that because she was the adult in the group, we had to do what she says. We're 28, haha. She's in her 50s. My boyfriend laughed awkwardly and just hopped into the back of the boat while the rent the rental attendants looked annoyed as heck. Before we were only in like 2 feet water at this point, She drunkenly charged through the water and grabbed my arms, trying to drag me out of the boat. Kay was already behind her, pulling her back and yelling at her to stop, while S stood on shore, chugging the last of his beer. The attendants yelled for her to knock it off and waved over security, while my boyfriend was already dragging her out of the water. He tossed her off of them, Kay apologizing over and over. As ticked off as I was fine seeing that crazy woman got thrown out, and seeing that crazy woman get thrown out of the park with her son. Kay had to leave with them since they couldn't drive home. So we thought we took off on the boat and came back a few hours later. The attendants told us to start another fight in the parking lot. Tried The attendants told us she started another fight in the parking lot, tried to come back inside the park to drink some more, and eventually was carted away in a police car after she started throwing rocks at people. Anyways, I enjoyed my day and don't hold anything against Kate. Gonna try again this weekend. Insane mom yells at me for defending myself against her prince. People involved. Me. EK entitled kid. EM entitled mom. F1 friend 1. F2 friend 2. So, there were other people involved, however, they did not have much of a role to play. So, this story happened about 3 years ago as of writing this. I remember I was with a bunch of my friends playing hide and seek. I wasn't actually playing, I was just walking around aimlessly. So I noticed the seekers go up to them, chat, and walk with them with EM. Oh, go. Sorry. Go go up to them, chat, and walk with EM for a while. Or M. I don't know if he's using a different thing. Because people say them or M. I don't really know. EM for a while, and they headed my way. About 5 minutes pass when I hear loud shouting and arguing. On my way, I noticed friend 1 and friend 2 arguing with the entitled kid. I immediately saw this and thought, oh boy, this isn't going to end well. So the seekers had found entitled kid first, meaning he was going to be seeking next round, but he didn't want to do that, so he pretended that he was never caught. So the seekers, friend 1 and friend 2, were arguing with him about that. I immediately head on over, and a couple of others try to get involved. I can hear them all arguing, and I hear entitled kid crying, bitterly shouting, I was not caught. Sorry. I was not caught. And everybody else opposing what he was saying. Now, I don't know what exactly happened or what was going through friend 1's head, but he, for some gosh darn reason, thought it would be funny if he pretended to open his water bottle and pour it onto entitled kid's head. He was not intending on soaking him. He was just pretending. Oh no. Now, to be fair, I don't see any reason why entitled kid wouldn't try to push the bottle away, so I'll overlook this part. Entitled kid pushes the bottle away. Yes, it was open, and he got wet. So he gets ticked off, and he tries to punch friend 1. I take notice and immediately go and stop him, holding him in place. Friend 2 was laughing his head off. Lol. Since it was since I was holding entitled kid, he shifted his attention onto me and then tried to attack me now. Obviously, I didn't want to hurt entitled kid, so all I did was use my arms and hold him out of reach. I was quite tall and the guy was a shrimp. He couldn't reach me. And out of nowhere, his mother, entitled mom, pops in. I don't know where she came from and came how I don't know where she came, how she came, where she came from. She starts yelling at me.
Why are you hurting my prince? I am not.
Oh, sorry. I'm not even joking. This is exactly what she called him. She immediately starts going on and on about how I was at fault for hurting her prince and that he's
Just a small baby.
keep note that he is 10 and I'm 12 and all I did was hold him in place. Friend 1 and 2 both in infuriate in infrared. I don't know. That's how he spelled it. And said that I was innocent and that other people agreed and took away my side, but she wouldn't listen. Admitting defeat, I just backed off and walked away from there, ignoring her calling me and yelling that she wasn't finished. Now, guys, I'm sorry about the underwhelming ending and that there's wasn't any revenge. Guess we don't always get what we want. Now, do we? I guess Karma will get best of her. I will like to apologize in advance for incorrect grammar or punctuation. So, guys, if you enjoyed these stories today, I hope you did, but um, I'm planning to continue the series once you get 3 views on this video. So, or watch this, please. I really need it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Watched it all the way through, and can't you not wait for that Modern Warfare campaign? Oh wait, I leaked it. No.